Have you ever stopped to question what is truly real? Of course, the chair on which you are sitting on right now or device on which you are watching this video seems to be real. But what about your thoughts, your emotions? What about the things which you want to achieve in life? Say, for example, do you know the real purpose of your life? The reason we are getting into this conversation is because many a times we get trapped into what is the true purpose of my life, and we keep waiting for it. We know that sometime somewhere we will find the real purpose, and after that our real life will start. This is just a trial life. Real life will start only after we get our purpose of life, and then we will start playing the real game. Before getting into the purpose part of it, it is therefore important to understand the reality aspect. What is reality? So, ontologically, if we see, reality can be distinguished into three types. First is personal reality. When I say personal reality, that is a reality which you and I experience for ourselves. This is the reality that exists inside your mind, colored by your subjective experiences, beliefs, conditionings, and emotional filters. Your personal reality is entirely unique to you. So, every individual will have their own personal reality. Every individual will have their own experiences and their reasoning behind those experiences. They have their stories behind those experiences, but it is unique or it is different for different people. For example, a traumatic event in childhood may cause you to pursue the world as an unsafe, threatening place. Or growing up in poverty could shape your mindset that money and status are essential for security. Our personal realities powerfully influence our decision making, behaviors, and overall worldview. On a daily basis, often consciously, the dangers arise when we become overly attached to our personal reality and fail to consider the other perspective. If you start even with acknowledging that what I am experiencing is my personal reality and it is not universal, or it is not something which is applicable to all, even that becomes the very important first step. And that's where mindfulness or meditation or any kind of psychoanalysis or philosophy also comes to help, because the moment you start acknowledging that this is just a reality which is personal to me, that itself is a victory, because then you are aware, you can catch it anytime when you are experiencing that personal reality. Now let's look at the second type of reality, which is interim reality. Interim reality, also known as consensus reality, this is the intersubjective level of reality that we collectively agree on within a given society or culture. It's the common sense of shared norms, laws, language, etc., that allows us to coexist and function. For example, the value we place on money as currency is an interim reality agreed upon by masses of people. So is the concept of marriage. You can take, for example, the concepts like nation. It's a created reality. It's something which we have agreed upon. It's not nation is not real, or it is not objective reality. It is something which we have agreed upon and we have created. Same applies for various other things like religion, God, for that example. These are all created realities. If you see, many times when we are immersed into interim reality, when we are born in that interim reality, it appears to us as real, like objective reality or universal reality, because you are born into it. When I am born in a particular nation, in a particular religion, in a particular caste, in a particular household, everything and anything which is there, it is not given to me at that very moment, but it is already existing before my birth. So that reality of being born in a particular household is a reality which is already there, and I am born into that. So I am immersed fully into that, and that makes me think that this is actually real. So everything which is surrounded by things, and that's why people start following the religious activities which they are supposed to do, or they start believing in God by default. It is like given. They see their parents, they see their relatives, they see people around them, and then they just follow the thing. I like to bring one of a very interesting story. If I'm not wrong, I think it was shared by Osho or someone, where he says that there is a blind woman who is trying to cross a street in New York. Now, New York being very crowded and very traffic borne, she is standing there and wanting to cross the road. Suddenly she realizes that someone comes and taps a hand on her back, and she is now happy that there is someone else also who is going to help her cross the road. And so she starts walking, the other person also starts walking, they hold each other's hand and they cross the road. Once they cross the road, the lady says, "Thank you very much for crossing." And the man says, no, I should thank you for crossing me the road because I am a blind person." And the lady says, "Wait, what? I am a blind person." Suddenly they both realize that both of them can't see, and in spite of that, one followed the other, because a blind person cannot see whether they are following another blind person. And most of the times in interim reality, that's exactly what happens. We are following the person who is ahead of us and assume that the person is going to take us ahead, but there is a huge possibility that that person is also following someone else, and that's how the understanding of interim reality has been carried after generation, and that's why you see various topics which are agreed upon or which are constructs created by society and people around us are real for us. Now the third one, last but not the least, or rather the most important one, I'm sure you are interested in knowing what exactly it is. Everyone, many people, many gurus, many saints, many yogis have been trying to find that, and that is ultimate reality. Now what is ultimate reality? This is the fundamental objective truth of existence itself, independent of any individual's subjective experiences or humanity's collective agreements. It is the absolute unchanging reality that has been the eternal subject of spirituality and philosophical inquiry. Glimpsing ultimate reality is said to result in profound sense of interconnectedness, inner peace and alignment with the deepest essence of being. The pursuit of enlightenment through paths like Hinduism, Buddhism or non-dual teachings aim to transcend personal and interim realities to realize ultimate reality. So when we talk about non-dual, like Advaita is that there is no Dvait, or there is no two sides, it's only one, where it is in Veda it talks about the Atman, which is the individual reality part of it, and Brahman, which is the universal reality or the collective conscious. So that both is together is what if you go into the details of Vedanta Advait, you will find that it talks more about those details. So it is again coming to that, in search of trying to find the ultimate reality. Many people have been trying to find the ultimate reality for many years. There is no conclusion, because I think, and I might be wrong, I am open for correction here in future whenever there is correction possible. Right now I have not got any answer to that. Is that when your instrument, your personal reality and the interim reality, these are the two instruments which are there available with you, and with these two instruments, if you are trying to find the ultimate reality, the possibility is that you are not able to see the ultimate reality in the first place, because the lens through which you will see the ultimate reality is either your personal reality. So what you think ultimate might be the personal reality, and that's why the experience is of outside body experience. Now for one person it is out of body experience, the other person may say it is nothing but sleep paralysis. For one person it is going through their dreams and experiencing things which they have never seen, and then able to do various things in those dreams. The other person with a scientific approach, with the science of neuroscience and the latest development in brain science, will tell that how lucid dreams work. So there are ways to look at it. There is scientific reasoning for some of it, not all, but that doesn't mean that there won't be any scientific reasoning and answers to these questions. There was a time when things like bacteria, viruses we were not aware of, and people used to call them Devi, or give the name of different gods or demons or whatever they thought at that time, based on their given knowledge. Their informed decisions were made based on their current knowledge, and that's why they gave those names. Later on we realized that there are viruses, bacteria, and then there are solutions or vaccines for these problems. So that was after multiple decades. When it comes to the topic of ultimate reality, or on the other side the topic of brain science, both are in a very nascent stages, where they are in very early stages, and so it is very difficult to come to any conclusion. But I would like to leave it there for now, that ultimate reality and brain science, these two things will help us, the study in both these topics will help us to understand things much better, and that can take some more time, but I think it is something which we can leave it there. So without getting too philosophical, let's see how it impacts, how these things impact in our day-to-day life, because that's what matters, right? Ultimately, in our day-to-day lives, being aware of these three levels of reality is incredibly pragmatic. It encourages openness, transcends beyond our limited perspectives. It allows us to have deeply enriching dialogues, collaborate across cultures, and continually evolve rather than clinch to potential distortions. With this awareness, we can navigate life with wisdom, honoring our personal truths while remaining curious about other realities. The quest to understand and embody ultimate reality keeps our minds alive and exploring the frontiers of existence. So, the exploration, the trying to understand things, the curiosity to know more continues, and that's what we want, right? We want to be curious. We don't want to conclude and stop anything. We want to know more. We want to explore. We want to learn more. So that whole journey continues in the concept of ultimate reality. But at the same time, now we have access to what is personal reality, which is limited to me. It's in my own fantasy world, and I have to understand and acknowledge that that is limited to me. And the other part is the interim reality, and that's where I have to get maximum leverage, because that's an agreed upon thing. And that's what helps us make business possible, that what helps us keep relationships intact, that what helps us have a functional life in a day-to-day basis. So now that once we have this concept clear, it is important to understand purpose then becomes a creation rather than waiting for knowing the ultimate reality, which I said that it is not an easy thing and it has its own limitations. And as I said, the instruments itself are limited to understand ultimate reality, given that we have personal reality and interim reality. So it is important to acknowledge that creation of purpose is not at the mercy of some external power, superpower, and something will come to your mind suddenly. Even that can be an hallucination. Even if you are feeling that some thing you have got to know, it's just a hallucination which your mind and brain plays games. But in reality, to solve this purpose problem, you have to create purpose. You choose what makes sense to you, you choose what will give you satisfaction, fulfillment, and then you make it as the meaning of your life, the purpose of your life, and then start playing the game full out. Let me know if you want additional support about how to reach to that level of my life's purpose, or what are the ways to access your own purpose, and I will be able to help you in whatever way I can. With that, we complete this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have still not subscribed this channel, please subscribe, and in the comments do share what are your thoughts about the discussion which we had today. Keep rocking.